Just an FYI, the title of this video is total clickbait. Hey, welcome to Chris JRS. My name is Chris, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a story time on the time that I met Lisa from BlackPink. And this wasn't just a dream, even though I've had many of those. So this story may not seem exciting to some people, but this is actually one of my favorite stories, at least in the last 5 years. So to start the story, I'll have to go back to 2017 when I started becoming more familiar with Korean pop culture. Before that, I knew of K-pop and K-dramas, but I didn't really listen to anything beside Gangnam Style from Psy. Now my brother-in-law, he was and still is pretty big into Korean pop culture, and he was the one who got me more familiar with it. So he would be listening to K-pop a lot, like all day. So I got pretty familiar with some bands like Twice, Red Velvet, BTS, Shinhwa. But one that really stood out to me was BlackPink. So I listened to a few of their songs and watched a few of their videos, and I really liked them. If you don't know who BlackPink are, well, they are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, girl K-pop band. It's 4 girls: Jennie, Jisoo, Rose, and Lisa. At the time I started listening to them back in 2017, they were big, but they were still fairly new. And I don't really fanboy over anyone. The last time I think I fanboyed over anyone was when I was 10 over Mr. Bean. But yeah, BlackPink got me fanboying. So I do like all the girls, they're all really talented, but one of them always had my eye, and that was Lisa. Now it was kind of weird a little bit weird because I was 32 and she was 20, so I felt a little bit creepy, but I didn't think about it too hard. There was always something about her that I liked. You know, she's a good singer, rapper, dancer. She's smart, she speaks 5 languages, and I liked her style. Anyways, other than listening to K-pop, I watched 2 K-dramas. I watched Strong Girl Bong Soon and Goblin, and a few reality shows as well. So I was getting a little bit more familiar with Korean pop culture. So in 2018, we decided to go to Korea and Japan. So it was my wife, my brother-in-law, and myself that went. So I remember on the first day we were in Korea and I was walking down the street and I heard from one of the stores they were playing BlackPink like really loud. So I took the Snapchat and I wrote "Mission Find BlackPink." Then my friend Mark, he sent me a message saying, "You mean mission find Lisa." So we did our trip. We went from Seoul to Busan and we did that on train. From Busan we went to Japan to Jeju, we went back to Seoul. So on one of our last days in Seoul, we decided to do some last minute shopping. So we were in Myeong-dong, which is a shopping area in Seoul. And we noticed that there was a crowd outside of one of these stores. So my brother-in-law said, "Hey, let's go check it out." So because I was still fairly new into Korean pop culture, I was like, okay, what are the chances of me knowing who's in there? So I stood back from the crowd and that was a little bit of wait. And then someone finally comes out and the crowd's like screaming. So I looked at her and I was like, "Hey, I know that girl. That's Sunny from Goblin." And she was in the store. So I was like, I didn't actually get a chance to take a picture or anything, or because it was kind of fast, she came out and she kind of walked the other way. And everyone kind of like ran after her. So just seeing her, like, that was pretty big because I already knew who that was. Like, I knew someone, even though I only watched 2 K-dramas. I didn't really know much, so that was pretty big. So the crowd dispersed and we continued shopping and we were just kind of like doing our thing. So then later we were kind of walking back in the same area and we saw a crowd again. So this time we decided, okay, we'll go closer, maybe she's back and we'll get a better shot. So I remember taking out my phone and I held it up high and I kind of used it as a periscope to just kind of see who's in the store, if it was her again or if it was someone else. And that's when this happened. So when I realized that it was Lisa in the store, I was like, bro, I can't even really describe what I was feeling, just because it was Lisa from BlackPink right there. So then she came out and I pulled up my phone, but then I thought to myself, you know, my brother-in-law and my wife are recording this. I really don't care to. I want to take this in, as lame as that sounds. So I put my phone down and I kind of like watched her, and she just kind of like walked right by me. And the first thing I thought to myself was, wow, Lisa just walked by me and I'm wearing this. So my brother-in-law and my wife took this video, it's probably a better angle, and this is what they saw. But to me, this is what happened in my head. I remember the first person I messaged right after that was Mark, and I was just kind of like, mission completed. So she left and that was it. So even though I didn't actually get to meet her, that was close enough, and it did make the trip even better. Hopefully one day I actually do get to meet her, or any of them really. Anyways, the moral of the story is always dress nice when you go out, because you never know who you're gonna see and you won't end up looking like this. Anyway, alright, so I'll just end things there. You know what to do. Everything should be down below. Like or dislike, leave a comment. Let me know, have you ever met someone that you've been fanboying or fangirling over? You know, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Laters, have fun.